Top 7 Most Valuable and Ultra-Rare Jefferson Nickel 5 cents, the most iconic coins in American numismatic history. These Jefferson Nickel 5 cents has seen various modifications over the decades. Among the many interesting variants are error Jefferson Nickel, which arise from mistakes during the minting process. The Jefferson Nickels are such notable variant that holds a special place among collectors. We will delve into the history, variations, and value of these coins. The 1954 Jefferson Nickel is part of the ongoing Jefferson Nickel series, which has been minted since 1938. This series features Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse front, and his home, Monticello, on the reverse back. While not particularly rare, certain variations, errors, and high-grade examples of the 1954 Jefferson Nickel can have added value. History of the 1954 Jefferson Nickel. The 1954 Jefferson Nickel was produced into major mint locations, Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D Mint Mark. In the early 1950s, the U.S. economy was stable, and the mint continued to produce large numbers of Jefferson Nickels. There were no major changes in the design or composition of the nickel during this period. Key varieties and errors. Collectors value certain varieties and errors from the 1954 Jefferson Nickel. These coins can increase in value based on specific characteristics like strike quality and rarity. Full steps FS designation. Repunched mint marks are PM. Collectors look for these varieties, and they can increase the value of the coin. Double die varieties. While no major double die varieties have been documented for the 1954 Jefferson Nickel, any discovery of such a coin would increase its value. Other mint errors. These types of errors are generally uncommon, but when they do occur, they are collectible. Current value of the 1954 Jefferson Nickel. The value of the 1954 Jefferson Nickel depends largely on its condition grade and whether it has any mint errors or the full steps designation. Most circulated examples do not hold significant value beyond their face value, but uncirculated coins or those with full steps are more valuable. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of October 2024, a Jefferson Nickel from 1954 in circulated condition is worth between $3 and $5. However, on the open market, 1954 nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $1,020. Collectability. The 1954 Jefferson Nickel is not considered rare in general circulation. However, it becomes much more collectible in uncirculated condition, particularly with full steps, or with errors like repunched mint marks or off-center strikes. The full steps designation is especially important, as coins with sharply defined steps on the reverse are much rarer and more valuable. The 1962 Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, which has been in continuous production since 1938. The design of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse front, and his Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse back. While the 1962 Jefferson Nickel is a particularly rare in circulated condition, it can be valuable in high grades, or if it has certain mint errors, or the full steps designation. History of the 1962 Jefferson Nickel. The 1962 Jefferson Nickel was minted at two locations, Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D Mint Mark. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing large quantities of nickels for general circulation. There were no major changes in the design or composition of the coin during this period. Key varieties and errors. Certain varieties and errors from 1962 can make the Jefferson Nickel more valuable to collectors. Full steps FS designation. Collectors highly value Jefferson Nickels with fully struck steps on Monticello, making them more valuable. Repunched mint marks are PM. This variety is sought after by collectors. Double die varieties. Any discovery of such an error would increase the coin's value. Other mint errors. Coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet errors can also be collectible and valuable. Current value of the 1962 Jefferson Nickel. The value of a 1962 Jefferson Nickel depends largely on its condition and whether it has the full steps designation or any errors. Most circulated examples hold only a small premium over face value, but uncirculated coins and those with full steps or errors can be worth more. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of October 2024, a Jefferson Nickel from 1962 in circulated condition is worth between $5 and $8. However, on the open market, 1962 nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $5,520. Conclusion. While the 1962 Jefferson Nickel is not rare in general circulation, its value can increase significantly for coins in uncirculated condition, especially those with the full steps designation or notable mint errors. Most circulated coins are worth just a small premium over face value, but well-preserved coins, those with full steps and error varieties, are much more valuable to collectors. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel is one of the more common coins in the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938. This series features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse front and his home, Monticello, on the reverse back. The 1964 nickel is especially significant due to the extremely high mintage during that year, as the U.S. Mint was responding to increased demand for coins due to coin shortages in the early 1960s, despite its high mintage. Some higher-grade examples and certain varieties can carry additional value. History of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel was minted at two locations, Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D Mint Mark. 1964 marks an important year in U.S. coinage history, as it was the last year before significant changes were made to the composition of other U.S. coins, particularly the silver content in dimes and quarters, which were phased out starting in 1965. However, the composition of the Jefferson Nickel remained the same. Key varieties and errors. Despite the high mintage, certain varieties and errors can increase the value of a 1964 Jefferson Nickel. Full steps FS designation. Coins with 6 fully defined steps, known as full steps FS nickels, are much rarer and more valuable. Where punched mint marks are PM. These varieties are sought after by collectors and can increase the value of the coin. Double die varieties. While no major double die varieties have been confirmed for the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, minor varieties may exist and would carry additional value. Other mint errors. As with other coins, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchette errors can occur and may be worth a premium. Current value of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel. Given the enormous mintage of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, most examples found in circulation today do not have significant value beyond their face value, unless they are in high-grade, uncirculated condition or have notable errors, according to the NGC Price Guide. As of October 2024, a Jefferson Nickel from 1964 in circulated condition is worth between $5 and $8. However, on the open market, 1964 nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $3,000 to $125. Conclusion. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel is a common coin due to its high mintage, but high-grade examples, coins with full steps, or those with mint errors can carry a premium. Most circulated coins have little value beyond face value, but uncirculated or error coins are more valuable to collectors. If you come across a 1964 Jefferson Nickel with clear, defined steps on Monticello, or one with a minting error, it could be worth much more than a standard circulated example. The 1965 Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, featuring the same design since 1938, a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse front and his Monticello home on the reverse back. The 1965 nickel was produced during a significant transitional period in U.S. coinage, especially regarding the composition of other coins like the dime and quarter. However, the nickel's composition remained unchanged. History of the 1965 Jefferson Nickel. This period also marked the transition away from silver in U.S. dimes and quarters. In 1965, the U.S. Mint began producing clad coins using a copper-nickel sandwich instead of silver for the dime and quarter, but the nickel's metal composition 75% copper and 25% nickel remained the same. Key varieties and errors. Though the 1965 Jefferson Nickel was mass-produced, certain varieties and mint errors can make individual coins more valuable. Full steps FS designation. Collectors prize Jefferson Nickels with fully struck steps on the Monticello building, making full steps coins especially desirable. Double die varieties. Any such error would increase its value significantly. Other mint errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchette errors can also make these nickels worth more than their face value. Current value of the 1965 Jefferson Nickel. Due to the high mintage of 1965 Jefferson Nickels, most examples found in circulation today do not have significant value beyond their face value unless they are in high grades, uncirculated, or exhibit notable errors. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of October 2024, a Jefferson Nickel from 1965 in circulated condition is worth between $5 and $8. However, on the open market, 1965 nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $3,575. Collectability. The 1965 Jefferson Nickel is not particularly rare in circulation, and most circulated coins hold little value beyond their face value. However, high-grade uncirculated coins, especially those with full steps, are highly collectible. Additionally, error coins from this year are sought after by collectors. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel, like other coins in the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse front and his Monticello home on the reverse back. This coin follows the same design and composition that has been in place since the series began in 1938. The Jefferson Nickel has been produced continuously, and while the 1977 nickel is not rare, certain conditions, errors, and varieties can make specific examples more valuable. History of the 1977 Jefferson Nickel. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel was minted during a period of stable production, and there were no major design changes or composition shifts. The U.S. Mint continued using the standard composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This coin was produced into major mint facilities, Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D Mint Mark. Both facilities produced a large number of Jefferson Nickels, which were used heavily in circulation, key varieties, and errors. While the 1977 Jefferson Nickel is common, some varieties and errors can enhance its value to collectors. Full Steps FS designation. The coin receives the Full Steps FS designation, which significantly increases its value. Coins with full steps are rare, especially from this period, because many Jefferson Nickels were not struck well enough to produce fully defined steps. Double die varieties. If you find a coin with doubling, it would be worth more than a standard 1977 nickel. Other mint errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped plankets, or other minting errors can also make these nickels more valuable. Error coins are always sought after by collectors and can carry a premium. Current value of the 1977 Jefferson Nickel. Due to the high mintage of the 1977 Jefferson Nickel, most examples found in circulation have little value beyond their face value. However, uncirculated coins, full steps examples, or coins with notable errors are worth more. Collectability. Although the 1977 Jefferson Nickel is common, it remains popular among collectors of the Jefferson Nickel series. High-grade coins, full steps examples, and error coins are especially sought after, given that many coins from this era were struck poorly. Well-struck coins in uncirculated condition with clear steps are more valuable and can command higher prices at auction or in private sales. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of October 2024, a Jefferson Nickel from 1977 in circulated condition is worth between $3 and $5. However, on the open market, 1977 nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $4,120. The 1980p Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-standing Jefferson Nickel series, which features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse front and his Monticello home on the reverse back. The P Mint mark denotes that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Although this nickel is not considered rare, specific conditions, varieties, and errors can affect its value. History of the 1980p Jefferson Nickel. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, and its design remained largely unchanged until the early 2000s. The 1980p nickel was minted during a period of consistent U.S. mint production. The composition of the 1980p nickel, like other Jefferson Nickels, is 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition remained standard from the coin's introduction in 1938. Key varieties and errors. While the 1980p Jefferson Nickel is not rare, there are specific varieties and errors that can increase the value of some coins. Full Steps FS designation. Coins with this designation are rare because many Jefferson Nickels were not struck with enough detail. Full Steps examples are highly valued by collectors. Double die varieties. Though no major double die varieties are widely known for the 1980p, any such error would make the coin more valuable. Other mint errors. These errors are always sought after by collectors, and the rarity and visibility of the error typically determine the value. Current value of the 1980p Jefferson Nickel, given the high mintage. Most circulated 1980p Jefferson Nickels have little value beyond their face value, unless they are in uncirculated condition or exhibit a notable error. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of October 2024, a Jefferson Nickel from 1980p in circulated condition is worth between $3 and $5. However, on the open market, 1980p nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $3,310. Collectability. While the 1980p Jefferson Nickel is common in circulation, it is still of interest to collectors, especially those collecting Jefferson Nickels by date and mint mark. The most sought-after examples of this coin are those in uncirculated condition, coins with the Full Steps designation, and any coins with notable errors. The Full Steps examples, in particular, are prized because they demonstrate a well-executed strike, which is rarer for coins from this period. The 1983p Jefferson Nickel, like others in the Jefferson Nickel series, features a design that has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1938. The coin shows Thomas Jefferson on the obverse front and his Monticello home on the reverse back. The P mint mark indicates that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Although the 1983p nickel is not considered rare, specific conditions, varieties, and errors can significantly enhance its value. History of the 1983p Jefferson Nickel. The 1980s saw the continuation of the Jefferson Nickel design, which had been largely unchanged since its debut. Coins from this period were struck in large numbers to meet the growing demand for circulating currency. The Jefferson Nickel was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a composition that has been standard since the series began. Key varieties and errors. While the 1983p Jefferson Nickel is common, some varieties and mint errors can increase the value of specific coins. Full steps FS designation. Coins with full steps are significantly more valuable because the Jefferson Nickel is notoriously difficult to strike with full detail, especially in this period. Double die varieties. Collectors always search for any signs of doubling on the obverse or reverse. If you find such a coin, its value could increase substantially. Other mint errors. These minting errors can make the coin worth significantly more than its face value, depending on the rarity and visibility of the error. Current value of the 1983p Jefferson Nickel. The 1983p Jefferson Nickel is commonly found in circulation, and most circulated coins hold little value beyond their face value unless they are in excellent condition or have errors. However, uncirculated coins, full steps examples, or error coins can be more valuable. According to the NGC Price Guide, as of October 2024. A Jefferson Nickel from 1983p in circulated condition is worth between $3 and $5. However, on the open market, 1983p nickels in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $5,110. Collectability. While the 1983p Jefferson Nickel is common in circulation, collectors still seek out high-quality examples, particularly those with full steps or notable mint errors. The economic conditions of the early 1980s and the large mintage numbers make it challenging to find well-struck examples, particularly with fully defined steps on the reverse. As a result, high-grade and full steps coins are in demand.